Hey, Alyssa, what's going on?
Sup?
What's up, Elimination? Good evening.
Hey, Elimination. Before we go on, so I think you when you working on that blackout proposal, I think you should do some research into when are gay cruises, because we can go on any cruise, but I think that since we're already in Florida, can you imagine the Kiki? Well, the fact that it's a bunch of gays, but us being our full and completely authentic selves among a bunch of other gays or a bunch of Negroes and others, but mostly Negroes and our Asian brothers and our Latino brothers and all of us in leather carrying on the boat. Yeah, so
sounds like
should
fun.
Make that happen.
Good evening, all.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to episode
welcome.
71 of the BGKH Show. 71 was a good year.
Ricky.
That was a good number. That's a good
71
year.
is a very good year.
71 was a very good year.
It was a very good year for...
I don't know the performance. Yeah. But the important thing is 71 good year. Yeah, that's where we're at. So today is Wednesday, October 30th, 2019. Welcome to the BGKH Show. I am Epic.
I am Dominion.
And this is
welcome to Men on Film. Oh,
right. the show from a male
point of view. Mm-hmm. So what does the BGKH stand for?
Well, the BGKH. Oh, I can't even get to the.
Yes.
Take two. The BGKH Show. The letters.
Yes.
Take three. The B stands for bitch. Get it together.
Right.
That's what it stands for.
Get it together.
That's the B and the G. Bitch, get it together. That's what it is.
So what's the B?
The B is for bitch, get it together.
Okay.
The G is for the get, as in get it together. So bitch,
I thought it was also for the gays.
Well, the gays always get it together too. So I mean, that's what we do. So the gays get it together.
When they get you together,
right? Listen, get you together, bitch.
Speaking
get
of
you together.
No, that's a comment.
The K stands for
the kinky people.
Hey Bert, hey Ernie, what's going on?
Okay,
how y'all doing?
Right.
What's your recon profile look like?
Right.
And the H, as we all know, stands for humans.
I guess their recon, probably Ernie's recon profile says, "Put your hand up in me."
Well, yeah, verse. So we have
verse couple seeks dom top.
Right. I was like, yeah, verse couple seeks. Okay, I'm here for it.
Yes.
Verse fist fucking. Verse FF couple.
Yes.
Seeks dom top. But anyway,
verse couple seeks for fun.
Right. There we go. Verse couple seeks for fun.
For fun.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, today is Wednesday, October 30th. It is the day before Halloween.
Yes.
Oh, I got some shenanigans to talk about. Oh my God. I have just about a couple different things.
Oh, okay.
We're
feel
gonna
free.
come back. No, it's kind of funny because I'm talk about, my good roomie. I'm gonna talk about him for hot.
Oh, there was shenanigans at the party.
Listen,
I'm interested.
I couldn't get myself together.
Did it involve him with him long ass legs over his head?
It involves somebody with stuff, but I'll come back to that.
Okay, well,
but tomorrow is Halloween, so for all of you that's going out trick-or-treating, I need you all to go out and be safe. Do kids still go out and do trick-or-treating?
Shout, them hoes knock on my door, and I already told Pooh. Her name is Pooh. I don't really know what her real name. Her name would be Karen or whatever it is, but
Pooh. She looks everything like you think she would look like a Pooh
exactly
from the hood.
Not
that he lives in the hood, but that's where she from.
10 years ago, when she introduced herself to me on the day I was moving in, she introduced herself as Pooh, and I have never called her anything else. So
okay. Well, hey, listen,
yes,
Pooh.
they will still be trick-or-treating. I won't be home because I won't be back from the barbershop, and I'm going to purposely stay out later so that hoes don't come by. So
Lord have mercy. Well, everybody be safe tomorrow. And it is, what time is it now? It is 8:09, and the Nationals, the Washington Nationals, are in the World Series, and the game has started 1 minute ago.
Yes, and
so
it It is.
It is Game 7.
It's Game 7. So
the
it's
final
do or die.
game.
It's
yes.
3-3. So
do or die, Bed-Stuy, do or die, Washington Nationals.
Yes.
Do or die, Astros, or whatever team you decide you want to root for. But this was great going on. This game right here tonight is going to determine everything. And from what I understand, last night there was some controversy about a few things.
Oh, I don't know. I don't follow hockey.
I don't listen. The hockey ball stuff I don't even really get. But I understand there was some.
I don't know anything about sports balls.
Yeah, there was some.
I know about sports balls, but I know about sports ball
or sporty balls.
Sporty balls.
Yeah, sporty balls are kind of that's it. But anyway,
right. All you need is a little vodka.
So, but yeah, so best of luck, and I hope the DC brings it home. I'm gonna give DC a shout out because I feel like they've been doing it. You've had the Washington Capitals.
Yes.
That have brought home a title. You've had the Mystics that just recently brought home a title. The Nationals that are actually in the World Series. Hopefully to bring home.
Ain't brought home
the Skins.
Shit.
No,
but disappointment.
That's what they brought home. They brought a lot of disappointment home. That's what they brought home. So we'll see how that goes. And hopefully they'll bring home a new coach, which is what not a new coach, a new general manager, which is what everybody seems to be talking about. So hopefully they will, but who knows? I don't really care. So just whatever.
Right.
But so. My weekend.
Okay.
So
I'm listening.
First of all, we had Iniquity this weekend. Onyx had Iniquity this weekend, which was
cute.
It was really cute.
That space was cute. I'm looking forward to using it again. And I did not really have a whole lot of inspiration for dark fairy tales because I didn't really watch a whole lot of Disney movies as a kid. So I was like, well. Like when the theme was apocalypse, like immediately I was like, I'm going to be one of the 4 horsemen. It was like immediately I knew I was going to do, but I didn't know what I was going to do. But the kids came out. First of all, I know you're going to finish your story, but shout out to motherfucking Aphrodite.
Listen,
fucking Maleficent.
Listen, wait, with a wardrobe change, but still in contact.
As sexy Maleficent,
right?
Slayed the kids.
I said, "Come on!" I was like, "But did you have a wardrobe change?" He said, "Yes, it's just the second one." I was like, "Oh,
yes." So, sexy Maleficent slayed. Kaleidoscope slayed. As what was from?
He was Willy Wonka.
That was Willy. Was that Willy Wonka or the Mad Hatter?
No, I'm sorry, the Mad Hatter. Yes,
that was the Mad Hatter.
Yeah. Wait. No.
Yeah, that was the Mad Hatter.
Yes, from
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, yes. And shout out to Renai.
Yeah, Renai was
Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts.
Yeah. Chrome
was the big bad wolf.
Yes.
Yes.
Give it up for Cardinal, who came as the Little Red Riding Hood.
Listen, his makeup was his makeup was a little bit beat. I was like, okay,
it was a little demure. It was a little demure.
It was a little, just a little something.
And the big bad wolf, right?
And his boyfriend,
with Lil Bang,
okay,
with Lil Bang and Lil. I was like, all right.
I saw that.
Let's see. Who else came out that had some memorable costumes? Everybody had on great costumes. I'm trying to think of who else was memorable. There were several brothers that came down from Northeast. Thank y'all for coming out. Y'all had some great costumes as well.
And the brothers that came from Atlanta.
The brothers that came from Atlanta.
Yes.
Merlin. Listen, Merlin. I still have glitter. I got glitter on everything.
I am going to fuck you up when I see you.
And wait, it was like this. He was like, "Oh my God, hey!" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's glitter!" And I was like, "Oh."
Right, he purposely kept doing it too. I was like, "I'm gonna fuck you up."
But it was all right.
Fuck you up.
Listen, glitter is the herpes amongst the gays.
Yes.
Like it is like, but it was fun though. But I appreciate you coming out, and I love the costume. And it was there was a couple other sexies from our brothers from Southeast that came up, and so. The whole crew that came up, they had a good look going on.
They did, and just lots of ass, just ass.
It was.
So anyway, so your story.
But anyway, all right. So on top of this, my roommate and I were having this conversation. He normally has a Halloween party, and I've contributed to it. Mm-hmm. And every single year, it's always this big bash.
Right.
And so it's this big,
throat
cars up and down the driveway, up and down the street, everything. And so, towards the end of the night, folks, they have had their drinks and the basement kind of becomes a lounge type of situation. And when you go downstairs in the basement, there's a back section in the lounge. Mm-hmm. So even our bartender, a couple years ago, I looked around and I was like, you are no longer serving drinks. You're spilling drinks because they're being thrust out your hand. But I digress. When I finally got home from Iniquity, I walked into the house and I realized, A, he was drunk. He was toe up from the floor up.
It's his house and he ain't have to go nowhere, so there you go.
B, I looked back around and I was like, where the fuck did this bitch go? I was like, what? I was like, I didn't see it. Like, what? Okay. I go upstairs, get myself together, lay it down. The next morning I get up. His aunt and his cousin had came down as well. Hey, auntie. Hey, cousin. When I came downstairs, I said my good mornings. And then I looked, and I thought I saw somebody stand up off of the couch that was in the dining room that kind of walked over towards the stairs, and all I saw was a blanket. And I said, now, wait a minute. When I turned the corner and looked back around, it was my roommate going up the steps with this Justify My Love 2019, where all you saw was like a blanket and one multicolored sock on, and his head held high, and he was like walking up the steps like he just couldn't take it. I was like, okay. Now, meanwhile, he was still drunk.
Of course.
Still drunk. So we get upstairs. He's laying down. He's been laying down all day. Like, he drunk. Like, poor thing. He was drunk as a skunk all day. Like, he just couldn't get himself together. So
it's Sunday. What do you enjoy yourself.
So I went on. I was still talking to Auntie, and then I was talking to one of the guests that came down to visit. And all of a sudden, I saw the curtain move, and I saw somebody else with no shirt on. I said, well, who the fuck is this? Then it dawned. I was like, hey, good morning. He's like, hey, good morning. I'm looking at his body.
Was it somebody you know?
I was like, this motherfucker's body is everything. Then it dawned on me. It was his little friend.
Oh, okay.
And he had fallen asleep on the couch.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay. But then I realized Ed just got up off the couch. I said, now what the fuck? I said, okay. Fast forward a couple hours. He's laying on the floor. Poor thing. He was sick as a dog.
Oh, my God.
He laying on the floor. He laid on the bathroom floor. I don't know why I'm telling all this business, but it was hilarious.
Go on.
But, and here I am at 11:15 at night going to go get some Pedialyte because somebody's a little dehydrated. But love you, smooches. But anyway, had a great time. He had a great time. So, but I cautioned him and I cautioned all of you, stick to one liquor. So he started with wine, and then he went to everything else. So we already knew he was getting ready to go downhill from there.
There you go.
Yeah. So
that's why I always stick to vodka. Vodka never lets you down.
And then I went downstairs in the basement when I was getting ready to clean up everything.
I know that basement smelled like ass and.
No, it was fine. But I walked back into the lounge area, and I was like, "Is that a bottle of lube and some underwear?"
Was there a person attached to the underwear at some point?
I don't know, but all I know is
just a pair.
Like, I said,
so someone had such a good time that they finished and they were like, "Well,
so to whoever
put on my clothes and just leave."
So to whoever left your underwear, your panties are still in the house. Probably they're in a plastic bag right now. Probably sitting out on the deck.
You sniff them every now and again.
I don't know who they are, so I can't do that. I can't do that sniffing. I don't know. At least I need to know who they belong to before I can.
Into that, so.
But you know, a little smell every now and then, just a little essence of a little essence of
right.
But
hey Mac, hey, Sekou.
But
hey Stephanie, hey Khalid. Hey
it was
Jay.
it was fun. It was festive, and
Mike.
so
he's
David,
probably how's my David? You know, our brother David,
what's going on, David?
From San Francisco,
yes,
the cutie with the
heels
and the heels and the
listen,
earrings. Yes.
Come through, David, with this look and these heels and this corset and everything about it.
Yes.
Everything about it.
Everything about
you.
Everything about it.
I didn't even have a chance to have a whole full-fledged conversation.
So much going
you.
on.
It was a lot going on.
It was a lot going on.
But
I do have two observations when you finish.
No. That was it. I just wanted to put that out there, and that was a small.
Okay.
That was small. That's it.
Observation number one.
Oh, and I did find a pair of pants upstairs in my den. I don't know who they were.
So I'd have been like, why y'all was in my room? This whole house, but whatever. So observation number one. I guess as I'm getting older, I just sort of notice sort of racist stuff more. When we were on the cruise, it annoyed me the number of times people were like shocked to see Negroes get off of the elevator. Because we always traveled en masse, and then we would like come out of the elevator and people would be like, oh my God. And it wasn't like, oh my God, like we want to fuck. It was more like, oh my God, it was like, where did all these Negroes come from? It was like,
Now, see, I got that.
Want nothing from you.
I got that more so on the last cruise because I remember somebody even said, "Oh my God, are y'all a football team or y'all a basketball?" Like,
I
and I was
notice.
like,
maybe I don't remember.
Oh, no, I
that.
remember somebody very clearly saying, "Are y'all a basketball team or y'all a football team?" And I was like, I felt like,
Right.
what? I was like, girl.
So,
But this one, I didn't feel that.
that was part one of that observation. The second part of that observation is how racism sometimes works in your favor. Because let me tell you, if you ever go on a cruise as a black person or a group of black people, all you need, and if you want to get in the hot tub, and if you and all of your friends want to get in the hot tub, all one person got to do, just one, appoint one person to get in the hot tub, and within 15 minutes, all of those white people will get out of the tub.
Let me tell you something. There were
That happened
several
at least
tubs,
4 or 5
and
times.
every single time, one person, more than one black person got into the tub.
Right.
They cleared out. Now, we had this one gentleman that came over and sat in the
Right.
tub with us. And so I kind of figured he was trying, once again, he was doing the nosy thing, like making an assumption. And he was just like, hey, guys, what's going on? How are you? Blah, 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 blah. And he's just sitting there, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, like, okay, how long is this conversation going to take before it takes a turn for the worse? Then he started asking us what we were part of. We said, well, we're all in part of the same organization. He said, well, what's the organization? What is it all about? So I was like, fine. This is what Onyx is about. This is what we are. This is what we do. He's
And
like,
some of our brothers be hemming and hawing. Onyx is a leather fraternity for gay and bisexual men of color. You don't have to hem and haw. You don't have to beat around the bush.
He was
because
like,
what the fuck are they gonna do?
He was
you
like,
probably whoop their
okay.
ass, but
yeah, and definitely his ass would have got whooped that day.
yeah, but
'cause
that
it was
wasn't
like
what it
19 of
was.
us. But that wasn't.
I am assuming I got more of a vibe of I am a straight but possibly curious thing, but I don't want to come. I mean, he wasn't like hello, but he did that sort of.
He was nosy.
He was nosy, and he seemed to be. Or maybe I'm just a horrible person, And I just had.
We have our. I'm saying, we have our moments. That's what I was trying to. I was trying to finish that.
I was trying to say that I'm a horrible person. All right, but did you also peep when we was in the hot tub and those 4 black women came up?
It was like,
and they were like,
"Hey," and we were all like, "No, girl, no, girl,"
and they were like,
yeah. So, but listen, it works. It was fine.
Why does this keep doing
We
this?
had a
It
good
just
time
keeps
with it.
dropping in the middle.
And shout out to the announcement and the formation and the debut of the House
of
Exousia,
or Ho for short.
because apparently Ho is life.
Ho is life.
Right. So
Exousia, exousia means power, authority, dominion.
dominating.
Yeah. So, but it's not dominating; it's dominion. So it's dominating. Anybody can be dominating. To have dominion means that you, in the old Christian, it means that you have a God-given right. And I'm not assuming that we have a God-given right, but it's about power and authority and dominion and those sorts of things. And so so the House of Exousia debuted this weekend with our matching bracelets.
Shout out to the House of Exousia.
And there'll be some more members joining the house at some point. And listen, it's not a ball house. It's not that kind of house. No. It's just more of a confederation of like-minded people headed by myself.
Yeah. And listen, it's you know him, so you know what it's about.
Yes.
Let's be clear about that.
So so all of that was the cruise observations. Those were stray leftover observations from the cruise. This weekend was also my 30th high school anniversary.
Don't speak on it.
So I couldn't go to the actual event, which was the same. The theme was "If Only for One Night," which was our prom theme in May. It was
May of
1989. So it was a very typical theme for that year. So that was the theme, and I couldn't go because I had to go to
one moment in time.
Give me one.
I hated it.
Moment in time.
I hated it.
So I couldn't make that, but I went to Oxon Hill High School. If you're driving past National Harbor, you can see it up on the hill. So that high school has been there since the 40s. No, the 20s.
Okay.
There's been an Oxon Hill High School since the 20s, I think. And the building that I went to school in was like 30 years old when I got there. They rebuilt the entire thing.
Right,
in
Michael,
2012.
right.
What?
Talking about the guy got in the tub.
Right. He sure didn't.
Right.
He sure didn't.
Okay, elimination. I see it. One moment in time, I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
I thought our prom, because, I love Luther, so I thought I was completely
Well,
fine
that's
with
fine.
it.
Like, I would have been fine with that. Actually, I was really pushing for Prince Adore to be our prom team, but I got voted out.
Until the end of time.
Listen.
Truly, I adore you.
I was fighting for that. I was fighting so hard for that.
My heart and mind.
And everybody was in my classroom was like, no. I was like, y'all bitches have no taste.
Right.
Fuck y'all.
I think the original thing that we had thought about was, it was a Keith Sweat song.
Make It Last Forever?
Make It Last Forever was one of the things. But that was like our rivals' prom themes. And we was like, well, we can't do the same prom theme as them. And then someone else suggested, well, why don't we just do another Keith Sweat song? And I remember Lydia, one of the senior class officers, was like, we can't have the prom song be like, you may be young, but you're ready.
Listen. I mean, but for many
You're
of folk,
not a little girl, you're a woman.
but for many of folk,
that's
when they not stop being a little girl. But okay.
Right. And so anyway, so I didn't go to that, but I did go to the. We took a tour of the new high school. They got a lot of shit. They got like a culinary class, and when I tell you they got a culinary class, they have a motherfucking Culinary Institute of America in there. It's like a 1,000, no, almost like a 2,000 square foot space with, these huge professional stoves and it's like a professional kitchen with like a huge walk-in and everything. And I was like, well, shit, they had none of this. When I was in school, we used to make fun and we used to tell freshmen, it was like, yeah, just go down in the hallway and turn left to the swimming pool. There was no fucking swimming pool. There's a swimming pool and a swim team and a tennis team and a rugby team. And I'm just like, God damn, they got all this shit. And people was like, I want to go. I said, I want to go back and redo it. I was like, I absolutely do not. Mm-mm. I absolutely do not want to. I mean, my high school was fine. It wasn't like a traumatic experience or nothing. The only way I would do it is if I knew everything that I knew now. I don't want to go back and be 16 years old all over again. I want to be 16 with the knowledge of a 48-year-old because then I would rule the fucking world.
Let me tell you something.
First thing I would have did, I would have all of that. I feel like I got like $2,000 in money from various relatives and stuff.
Okay.
Would have invested I would have split it equally between Microsoft and Apple because we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
This is true.
I would be rich.
This is true.
That $1,000 invested in 1989 is surely worth several $1 million for both Apple
and even at that point in time,
Yahoo. Right? Yeah, but Yahoo eventually tanked.
But still, but you would have got your money out of it. You're like, all right, I'm gonna take my money up out of there.
Known how to get the fuck up out of there. So anyway, so I say all this to say is like,
come on in the limo.
Come
on, elimination.
You were young, but you were ready, huh? Little fast ass Baltimore boys. I know. And
wait a minute. Don't be talking about that because listen. Baltimore is the sister city to Philadelphia, and he was not fast. I was not fast.
Lies.
I drove my rental car.
I drove mine too,
and back, and then I drove that bitch to Great Adventure the next day.
Right. So I will just say that some people in our class aged very well, and by some people in our class, I mean the gays.
It's like
the gays, because me and the only one person that actually came to the event was out and gay, and people were like, several people came to me. Well, I've lost like 100 pounds since people saw me the last time. I'm still fat, but I was much fatter. And, I had just dyed my beard. And, our bartender, even though he's a crazy hotep, he does a great job, except for your... Let me see.
Leave me alone.
It's fine now. It's fine now.
What I realized when I got home, it wasn't the whole thing. It was the front. And it was this one little piece, and I was sitting in the mirror. I was like, I said, fuck it. I'm out. Leave it alone. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh, I'm so mad. But anyway,
Yes.
we'll talk about that. Okay.
But so we looked good. And I mean, no one looked terribly, terrible. But I was like, a lot of people gained a lot of weight. I was like, Jesus Christ. What have you been doing for the past 30 years? Have you just been eating the whole fucking time?
Listen.
Now, all of the black people, my school was like 75, 80% black. So, everybody's skin was looking good.
Yeah.
But, people just put on,
970
lots
pounds.
of girth. And God bless that ministry.
Well, yeah.
It's
And I don't know their lives.
So here's my observation. Children and or heterosexuality drains you. Because even the straights who weren't married or didn't have children look significantly better than the ones who had kids. Like the ones that had kids, let me tell you, so there was one point where we had to go up a flight of stairs. I have never, listen, I'm a fat bitch. I am. But I could at least walk up a single flight of stairs without wheezing and huffing and puffing. Let me tell you, this was the most wheezingest, most huffing and puffingest group of Negroes I have ever seen in my life. I was like, good Lord, do y'all ever do any walking?
Apparently not.
So,
apparently.
But it was fun. I mean, it was lovely to see everybody. It was great to see where people's lives had taken them, and also because clearly, I mean, there were. When I was a freshman, there were 1,000 of us in the class of 1989. By the time we got to our senior year, there were 600 and what?
I'm just jealous because that was not my high school size.
Well, that's the size of the freshman year. There were 3,000 students in the school when I was a freshman. When they rebuilt the high school maxes out at 1,500 now.
So my high school was less than 90 people.
Shit.
My class size was 28.
Oh, well, shit. That was the size of a class.
And some of them I had been in class with since 5th grade.
Yeah.
It was a weird school. Masterman was just a very weird school.
Yeah.
And it was just very weird. But I appreciated it because it was very small. But I get jealous. Like when people start talking about their high school experience and the things that they did, I didn't get that until I got to college. Like when I got to Pitt, I was like, what? But I knew everybody by the time I got there. I was like, what?
Right. Yeah, it was
like that was, yeah.
There were 675 people who, in the class of 1989 by our senior year, of which 525 graduated.
Do you remember your class rank and all that stuff?
It was like 5th. Listen, there were some bitches that had, I mean, it was like a magnet school. No, actually I wasn't 5th. I was like number 25. I had a 3.8 average, and still there were like 30 people ahead of me in the school, because there were people who were like in the IB class who had more than a 4.0. There were people that had like a 4.3 GPA graduating from high school. So.
Because my class was so small and we were a magnet school, I graduated 26th out of 28 with a 90.8 cum, and everybody's cum at that point was like 0.001, 0.002.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how tight we were. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, in another school, you would have been at or near the top.
And my aunt was like, oh, you should have went to the neighborhood high school. I'd have been like, first of all, I'd be dead.
Right. so I'm good.
Like, I'm good. I made it out. So, all right, fine. But, yeah, it was just tight. Like, I'd be like, 26 hours. Okay.
So, yeah, I think it was, I enjoyed seeing everybody, seeing, the people that I was close with in high school, the other people I was like, hi.
Have you kept in touch with any of them regular? Okay. No. Yeah.
The only one I keep in touch with is John Sebastian,
Why does that name sound familiar?
Guy. Not that guy, but guy.
Right.
Yeah. We went to high school together. And, we did the other radio show together. But most of them I'm friends with on my other Facebook profile, but I don't even really keep in touch with them. I made some commitments to keep in contact with some of the people that I was close with then when I was in high school. But I was just like, you all got old. Not just in their age, but in the way that they acted. I mean,
I thought you might know El Boogie, Laura.
Laura.
We'll talk about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a black person?
Yeah. She didn't go there, but her and what's his name were good friends.
Oh, well, I could be. Anyway, so that was an interesting experience. It was good. I really enjoyed seeing people and hanging out and doing whatever. So
yeah, this was my year as well. But I haven't.
You didn't go?
I was like, for no other reason other than I didn't know about it. It very well maybe get ready to go on now. I don't know.
There's only 26 of y'all.
Well, and the thing is, with my high school, they would do it like classes at a time. So they would do like 89, 90, and 91 together.
Yeah, that was just
or they would do from like 85 to 90. Like they would do it that way. And some of those people, they were in the school. I don't really particularly care for them because some of the older ones were just like, they were snots.
Oh.
Just straight up snots. And I was like, and so I had this moment where while I never felt inferior to anybody that I went to school with.
Right.
I just felt it was such a drain on me to look at you and say, you are from Philadelphia, born and raised. In fact, you live in North Philly, but you act like you got this Tina Turner syndrome on where you have this accent like you're from across the pond somewhere. I don't know who the fuck are you?
Oopsie.
Like, I don't understand that. But that's just my own
You know what it is? Have you ever seen Auntie Mame?
Yeah.
Why does that lady have an English accent? This is not English. She's from Pittsburgh. So then why does she have an English accent? Well, when you're from Pittsburgh, you have to do something.
Listen, maybe that's what the issue was, because some of them, they were just snots, and I was just like, oh God. But anyway,
since you were late, we gotta.
Let's be clear. You walked in the building before I did. Meaning you drove across the parking lot to almost cause an accident.
I don't know what you're talking about.
At the same time with my car. But you did walk in the building before I did. But if you're saying that I was late, then baby, you were late as well.
No. I was here in my seat at 7:58.
You were standing up at the edge of this table when I walked in this door.
It was 8:02.
Lies, garbage, and fairy tales. So if it was 8:02, you walked in at 8:01.
You were
lies,
later than
garbage, and fairy tales. Let me go on ahead and report this news because this is called selective remembrance. Was that the term? Is that how it was used? Selective remembrance?
Fuck you. I left my office at 4:30, and by the time I got home, it was 7:26. Anyway,
so I was talking about the Nationals in the World Series. Good luck to them.
The Astros just scored, so in the top of the bottom
of the first?
Bottom of the first.
The Astros so far it's 1-0.
1-0
in favor. Okay, so we got 8 more innings to go.
This has been a fairly relatively high scoring. Because
last night
was like what,
they scored like 5 or 6 runs in the last inning.
Yeah, so
yeah, it was. But anyway, speaking of the Nationals, there's a story that happened that people may have heard about. So there's a baseball fan who was going back to his seat and apparently had 2 handfuls of beer in each hand. And this particular fan wound up getting pegged in the chest with the ball because he wouldn't drop.
He held it and just like, ugh.
And he wouldn't drop the beer.
That is a ball being hit by a professional baseball player. And that shit was going at least 80 miles an hour.
Because it was almost a home. He was on the other side, right?
I didn't see it.
He was on the back. He was on the back wall. Mm-hmm. So basically, not only did it travel towards him, it fell up and out in a parabolic curve to come down on him.
Mm-hmm. So that shit.
So that fit. Anyway,
he probably has a big bruise on his chest.
But now here's the thing: Bud Light actually sent him to Game 6 last night in Houston with a T-shirt that had the moment that says it says always save the beers. So
I'm down for that. I would wear that shirt.
Listen, Bud Light garnered $7.2 million in media value as a result of this particular person's stunt, and his name was actually Jeff Adams. I'm sorry. Yeah. And he's getting a chance to see. He got a chance to see the Nationals last night. Hopefully they will do a commercial or something. Maybe they'll pay him. Who knows? But that's his 15 minutes of fame. God bless him.
They did pay him. They got him free tickets to the game.
Yeah, that's true.
And I believe he lives here, so they flew him.
To the game last night.
To the game, so he did get paid.
So, well, okay. But,
I'm sure they made him sign some release or something that said, this is all you're going to get.
Hey.
And we can use your likeness or your image or whatever.
And his likeness is on the shirt. Like, he's making a face type. Yeah, so. But, listen.
If he was smart, he'd be like, no, I want royalties from this t-shirt.
Yeah, no, I don't want, I'd have been royalties. No. But anyway, and also he still kept the baseball. So so kudos to that. This is Halloween. This is always a fun time of year. And in D.C., one of the traditions has been the high heel race. The high heel race was last
Did you
night.
go?
I did not go.
I stopped going like years ago.
So the last time I went to the high heel race was the year after I danced in the high heel race. That was the last time I went. And I had a great time, but I was over it because I got to a point where I was like, the crowd's a little bit too much. The crowd wasn't too much. It was more so the crowd was too much in trying to park. Like, it was so crowded, trying to get your car parked. You got to organize your day to figure out, okay, I'm going to go here, I'm going to leave this, I'm going to do that. Listen, no. And all of that.
Yes, Steele, we talk sports very briefly, but we're over it.
Yeah, we're on to something else. Keep up. Come on, keep up.
Harry, who's from Nutbush? Oh, he's talking about from Philly. He was from Philly. You're from Nutbush.
So I stopped going. But I do miss dancing in the parade the 2 years that I did. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty doggone fun.
I stopped going. Me and my best friend used to go every year. It was like a religion with us. We would do that, and then we would go out to eat, and, we'd be kikiing and cutting up and having a wonderful time. But like so many other things, the gays start bringing their girlfriends, and then the girlfriends start coming with their girlfriends.
And then the
their
kids
girlfriends start coming with their husbands and their boyfriends, and then they start coming with their kids. And now they want you to get out the way so that their kids can be in the front. And I was like, it's not an adult thing per se.
No,
it's not like San Francisco where people are walking around naked.
But it's
on
still
the street.
very adult humor.
First of all, it's adult humor for one, and two, I just wouldn't bring my kid out to something like that because it's just too crowded and too much going on.
Yes.
And
there's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of filthy mouths going on. Right. There's a lot of images that may not necessarily be age appropriate for these children.
I don't necessarily see a lot of that. For me, it's just too much crowd.
Listen.
Yes, occasionally there's somebody, but
there's a boob or an ass or a dick
that doesn't necessarily bother me. It's more the crowds and stuff, and also the privilege and the presumption. It's like they're the same kind of hoes that have a baby on board sticker. Like, I'm supposed to give a fuck that you have a car in the child, and I'm supposed to change all of my habits because you have
a baby on board.
So I'm supposed to cede my place to you, and not just you, but a whole wave of, mothers and fathers with their babies. And now I can't see because y'all are there, and then eventually y'all say, oh, well, this is a little too adult, so maybe we'll just not have it. And so
don't come.
Here's the thing. Gays, stop bringing your straight girlfriends to these gay events.
Yeah, see, the rule is for the gay, listen, for the gays that I grew up with, the rule is if you get yourself a hag, that is the only person that you are coming and bringing with you. And you will get to a point with your hag that she or he will not come to every event.
Right.
Just certain events. That's it. Because sometimes they get a little bit too
attached. The gays want to be accepted
attached
by everybody, so they want everybody to know we're just like normal people. Yes, we are just like normal people, but there's also shit specific to gay culture that, history has proven. Why do you think a lot of gay bars close? A good example, well, not just gay bars, here's a more adult example. In New York City, there were, neighborhoods.
In New York City,
there were a lot of gay bars and adult bookstores and businesses in the Village and in Midtown, Hell's Kitchen, places like that were a little seedy, but not like it was more like get your life, not get your life taken. But the real estate was cheap, and people used to come there because they had good food, they could go to the clubs, they could do whatever. So then they moved in, these heterosexuals moved in, and then all of a sudden, they wanted to change everything about the neighborhood because all of a sudden, well, I don't want my kid growing up next door to an adult bookstore or next to this smelly Thai food place or whatever. Well, bitch, that's why you moved to this fucking neighborhood, because you wanted this diversity and you enjoyed the freedom of expression, and now you're destroying that. So the point is that heterosexuals destroy everything. So don't bring them nowhere.
The views of Dominion are not the views of Epic Onyx. I just want you all to know that. While there's some validity to some of the things that he's saying, I'm not necessarily signing off for all of those things. That's my disclaimer.
Your fast talking doesn't, they still heard me
That's
and
my
they still
disclaimer.
agree. So anyway.
But anyway, that's a prime example is actually Folsom East as well, because again,
Yes.
that the whole location has been moved, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But so anyway, the high heel race was amazing. It is now sponsored by the mayor's office in D.C.,
Which is good.
Yeah,
and
which is
bad.
good.
It's good because Mario's cool, but one of these days it's going to turn around, and the mayor is going to be a much more conservative individual,
Probably.
and they're going to be like, well,
Probably. But for right now,
then they're going to
Muriel,
start putting out costume standards and all kinds of foolishness.
Muriel, for right now, she's good.
I think she's family.
Well, I mean, then there's that. Allegedly. So allegedly, possibly,
She has a very strong haircut. She has a very strong haircut. It's strong and it's firm. It's no nonsense. She has a no nonsense haircut and a short no nonsense heel.
Okay. The views of Dominionics.
I mean, that's just a fashion
But
observation.
it is hilariously true.
Her heel is it's a no nonsense heel.
It is a no-nonsense heel.
It's a kibble and bit. It's slightly above a kibble and bit heel. It's an actual heel, but it's never. She's wearing no. It's never more than like 2.5, 3 inches at the most.
She's in kitten heels.
It's a little bit more than a
height.
kitten heel.
And you know how I feel about that. I can't stand a motherfucking kitten heel. I can't stand a kitten heel. Thanks, Mom. Because she hated him too. She's like, ain't no motherfucking pump. Okay. But anyway, I don't know who the actual official winner was, to believe it or not.
I didn't really.
They talked about it. I mean, you saw it in the video footage, but they didn't take their name.
I didn't watch any of it.
They didn't take their name, or at least they didn't advertise the name of the person that actually won. I saw the video footage, but I didn't see the person crossing the line. But there's one person that actually won it 3 times, Craig
That is
Williams.
disgusting.
And he won it in 2008,
out snuff or
2011,
whatever the fuck he was
and
doing.
2016. See,
Oh,
this is
really?
why you watching sport. This
I know.
sports
I'm
thing.
sorry.
We don't. This,
I know, right?
This,
yeah, this is.
no,
I
no,
watch it
no,
to be
no.
disgusted and
No,
slightly
no,
turned
no,
on
no.
by the minute.
Oh my God, this is too much flab shaking in the picture.
You think that's a lot? There you
It's
go.
like a
Come on,
lot.
Batwing.
It's like
I
the
believe
Batwing.
I can fly.
I'm gonna change the subject.
I know.
So I need to make a correction as well. So last week I reported that the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, or the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, was they had set an air date. They did not. What I
Okay.
was reading was an article from that was dated for a prior year.
Okay.
But the season 3 of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is wrapped up. We
Okay.
just don't have a release date. So I just want to correct that. So if anybody was looking for it, because I was looking for it myself, I was like, where the hell is this? But what I did find actually on Netflix was Dolomite, Eddie Murphy's movie.
I was going to say, I heard it was really good. That's on my queue
So I
to
haven't.
watch this
Yeah,
weekend.
it's just on my queue to watch, and I want to check it because Wesley Snipes is in it. Eddie Murphy. Then there's also this young lady from Philadelphia who's a new comedian. She plays the female lead in there. And I've gotten
She's a big girl?
Yeah, I've heard very good reviews of her. I've heard people that have actually watched it and they said it was actually pretty funny. So I need to actually sit down and take a look at this.
Well, did you hear that Dolomite's Rudy Ray Moore's daughter is suing the production because she's trying to get her a check. She says she lives on welfare in Miami.
So why didn't you?
No, this isn't new. She has apparently been trying to pursue this for years, but she on welfare, so ain't nobody really trying to hear her, I guess. But now that it's come out and got famous, now she wants a cut of the royalties, and I'm like, well, if now the thing is that according to the official stories, Rudy Ray Moore does not have any children. That's what he said. Now, if she can prove that she's the biological,
that's a whole different. That's a whole. First of all, she's trying to prove that she's his daughter.
Right.
Then she's trying to prove that she deserves some royalties from this. Like, is she trying to say the story was stolen from her, or the idea was stolen from her?
I don't
or is
think
she saying that
saying
she's entitled to it?
I think she's entitled to it as his next of kin.
So she got a couple battles going on.
Yeah, because I don't know that you're automatically entitled to
just because you
are the next of kin, especially if you aren't an acknowledged heir. Perhaps if I don't know. I think she's definitely got an uphill battle.
Legally, the court in a lot of those cases like that, legally the courts will look for the next heir, like whoever that is that's listed as the genetic or adoptive heir in some way, shape, or form.
Right,
So
because that person would have theoretically had to sign something saying you have the rights, like the rights. It's like Martin Luther King's family. You
Right.
know, they are grifters. Let's just be clear. Let's start with the fact that they are grifters. They are grifters. But they have rigorously pursued people trying to use Martin Luther King Jr.'s image and likeness and whatever without permission, mainly because, you know, Martin Luther King was many things, but he may not have been the best father because he was always running around the country talking about I have a dream. And the kids was like, I have a dream too, that daddy would be home.
This is me dashing over that. So,
But the point is that if you are the acknowledged heirs, then I believe you have a right. You have an acknowledged right to have say-so over what's done with their image. But if you aren't an acknowledged heir, and I feel like there's a statute of limitations, you can't come in 10 years after the fact and be like, oh, I'm an heir, so now I want a cut of everything that happens. So like if some chick showed up, and just say chick, I don't mean chick disrespectfully, some human being came up right now and said, oh, I'm an illegitimate son of Elvis Presley, people be like, that's lovely for you.
right. Good for you.
You're not getting any of the money from Graceland.
Yeah.
Nada.
Yeah.
Not even a penny.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyway, so Mr. Michigan Leather, Tiger Onyx. So, you know, some of the girls
yeah.
had very strong feelings because he came with, which is what we can admit is a somewhat non-traditional representation in a speech that he was giving. I don't even know if that was from Mr.
I think
if it was from the competition?
Those pictures were from the competition.
At any rate, whatever it was.
But whatever it was,
the point was, first of all, they referred the poster referred to him as it.
Yes.
Which is a start. So, you know, it was transphobic. There was definitely a lot of toxic masculinity.
Yes.
And almost certainly some racism. Almost certainly. Because they were basically saying that because his braids were long and whatever, you know, and, you know, maybe he didn't have a perfect six-pack, abs and everything. They were like, well, what they were essentially trying to say is that he is a trans man. And as if there's something wrong with being a trans man representing Michigan Leather.
Right.
So even if he was, that's still a non-issue. You know, so, you know, to a man,
listen,
you know, we, you know, gathered around our brother because we don't.
At the end of the day, Tiger
sort of
Onyx is family. Point blank, period. That is it. There is no more discussion. So if you stand, you either stand with him or you stand against him.
There you go.
We stand with him.
100%.
End of story. I didn't even go into the Facebook posts and all that stuff. I wasn't doing all that. I was like, listen, this is where we are. So whatever your name is, if you happen to be a fan of the show and you are watching,
he don't like black people, you know that. I mean,
but just so that you
can go ahead and
just
make
to
that
be
leap.
clear,
or the only kind of black people he likes is the ones that he perceives to be hyper masculine with huge penises and who, you know, don't have bat wings.
Just to be clear, he is family. So
he's 100% family.
You will be pushed right to the side.
We support him just as if we support all of our other brothers, whether they are cisgender or transgender. If you identify as a man, then if you identify as a woman, we don't care what your gender is. We support you in your journey, however that journey shows up in our lives. And what you present as is what we will treat you as. If you say that you are a man, we will treat you as a man. And it's not our business how you got to be there, whether you were born that way or whether you chose that because it was a more authentic representation of who you want to be in your life. And all of our brothers are not perfect about that. We're not suggesting that either. But we, as leaders of the organization, are definitely taking the lead by being public about our advocacy for all of our brothers, regardless of their gender identification or expression. Bam. So this weekend I want to watch Dolomite. I'm going to make that big ass pot of red beans and rice, and I'm going to start figuring out what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
And Christmas and New Year's. Actually, I got some emails from Norwegian. And how about they had, remember the fabulous spot that Morgan and Kai had?
Yeah.
The 2-bedroom suite? For a cruise out of Miami, a 5-day joint, $649 for that same 2-bedroom suite. I was like, bitch, if I can't take a whole nother week off like that.
I can't take another week, but now I'm getting a little pissed off. Well, actually, I'm not pissed off because I didn't spend that. I spent more than that, but I didn't spend as much as what it was originally posted that I've seen on other sites.
Yeah.
So I feel, for me, I was okay. I was like, all right.
I didn't spend, so the cruise itself ended up costing me and Azamek each about $1,750. But that was all inclusive. So that included the all you can drink package for the both of us. That included 3 nights at the specialty restaurant, that bullshit internet package, the $50 per shore credit and everything. So Azamek's bill was higher because he got like a full internet package because he needed to stay in touch and everything. But my bill, and that also includes tips and everything. So like on a Carnival cruise, you still got to come out the pocket with like $200.
Because they like stand outside the door. Like,
right. They say it's, listen, they say it's optional, but they stand outside the door. They said it out there like.
With their white gloves on.
Right. They said it like, run me my money. Run me my money.
And listen, you got to run that out.
Right, you got to walk by like this, like you don't see him.
But
I'm like, Mr. Brian, run me my money.
Listen, I still say, I thought I had a great time on the cruise.
I had a 100% great time.
Great time on the cruise. I like the race car part. I like the tube, which I didn't even get a chance to get into this time. I forgot about that. I didn't do the water tube. Yeah. I kept looking at it because it was funny. But anyway, I still think I had a better time. Well, I had a great time because of the company that we were with, but I still think I had more options.
The amenities on the ship were just, I think it were more appropriate to a party group.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
I'm still bitter about Norwegian not having our motherfucking signature song.
Exactly.
Bitches.
That's some old bullshit.
The Wet Pocketbooks is protesting.
Right. Son of a bitch. Anyway, so let's wrap this up. The BGKH Show stream. Oh, first of all, before we do that, I have a new song. I just want everybody to be clear that my slave is a hood rat. So every now and again, he'll send me a song. He'll be like, "Sir, listen to this," and I'll be like, and I don't usually say anything because I don't want to be like. But the song sometimes he sends me a hype. So like if I play a song here that you haven't heard of and it's real hype, you can 100% say that came from Azamek. 100%.
Thanks, Azamek.
The newest song is this song called Rules by Doja Cat. I wish I could play it for you. I actually, if you're on my Facebook page, I had made a video of some of the pictures that because he wanted to live his rich white woman rubber fantasy. And so we took a lot of pictures on the balcony and I set it to this song. Well, Facebook muted it because apparently Doja Cat is a person. Well, I mean, we know she's a person, but she's a person with a music label
behind her.
And, right. She ain't just some chick just from the streets of Miami rapping. So they were like, nope, you can't use that. So I will take the listen. The chorus goes, "You can play with my pussy, but don't play with my emotions." That right there is the reason why the song is everything in a bag of chips. So, Rules by Doja Cat, Dojacat. So check that out. Anyway, the BGKH Show streams live on Wednesdays on www.voxwave.com from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern and 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Just search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. Currently, we are still able to host a studio audience, so give us a buzz or email us or message us on Facebook and let us know you want to join us. And if you can't be in our audience but still want to join in, you can call and chat with us live at 240-719-2560.
One more
For those
again.
in the back, 240-719-2560. So, Epic, how can the viewers get in contact with you?
So you can reach me on Facebook if you look for Epic Onyx. You can also reach me on Instagram at I am Epic Onyx. And you can also find me on Twitter at Epic Onyx1. How can they reach you, Dominion?
At Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Dom Onyx, and www.domonyx.com.
So this ends the show for the evening.
Yes. I'm about to go. I got, my chicken levels are low. I've been dreaming about some chicken tenders from Royal Farms and some of that gravy, that garlic gravy that they have. I've been thinking about that for a long time.
Forestville.
We had one right down here. Yeah.
Okay,
so and some mashed potatoes. I'm torn between the mashed potatoes and turn down the music. So thank y'all for coming out.
Good night.
Good night.